Hey everyone, stimulus checks. Remember those? Well, they're back in the news even in 2025.
Yeah, you'd think we'd be done with stimulus talk by now.
Right. It seems crazy.
Fair.
But 1 million people apparently never got their third stimulus payment from 2021.
Wow, from 2021.
I know. Wild, right?
Yeah.
So there's a ton of buzz about who these folks are and how it's all going to work.
Yeah, makes you wonder what happened back then.
Definitely. Before we get into it, though, if you want to stay on top of financial news like this,
Hit that subscribe button. We'll keep you in the loop.
okay, so back to those missing stimulus payments.
Yeah.
The IRS made it clear this isn't a new round of stimulus checks.
Right. Just those $1,400 payments from 2021.
Yeah, way back when.
The IRS is working on sending out those missing payments, though. People with bank info on file will get direct deposit.
And anyone else will get a check in the mail. Makes you wonder, though, what happened? Why did those payments get missed in the first place?
You know, the IRS hasn't said exactly why those payments fell through the cracks.
That's interesting. Were there issues with certain tax returns, or maybe people just missed the news?
It's possible. Some people might have moved and not updated their address or been dealing with other stuff and just completely missed it.
Yeah, I bet there's so many different stories behind those missing payments.
It really highlights how important it is to be on top of your finances. You know, make sure the IRS has your current info and reach out if you think you're missing any payments.
That's good advice. I bet this happens with other programs, too. People might qualify for things, but just don't know about them.
Absolutely. You know, talking about this with friends and family could really help someone out, especially folks who aren't plugged into financial news.
Absolutely. Spread the word. So while we're on the topic of finances and unexpected surprises, I'm curious. What's your most memorable money surprise story?
Money surprises. Let me think.
Was it finding a $20 bill in an old jacket? Or something bigger? Maybe winning a little on a scratch ticket?
I have found money in old jackets before. Always a nice little bonus. But I think for a lot of us, the pandemic was a huge financial surprise, the way it shook things up.
Definitely remember 2020, when those first stimulus checks came out. That was a shock.
It felt like the world turned upside down.
It did. And now here we are in 2025, still dealing with the effects of it all.
Makes you think what other financial surprises might be waiting for us in the future.
Maybe another round of stimulus checks.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Well, let's shift gears for a minute and talk about something a little more predictable, Social Security.
Okay, sounds good.
There's some news for people who receive SSI supplemental security income.
Oh, right. Their January payment is coming a little early this year.
Yep, it's coming on Friday, January 31st, because the first of the month falls on a weekend.
Makes sense.
Now, I know the maximum SSI payment is $967.
Right, but a lot of people get less than that.
Exactly. The amount depends on their situation and any other income they have.
Right.
And there's been a lot of talk recently about the Social Security Fairness Act.
That's the one that proposes a $360 a month increase for SSI recipients, right?
That's the one. It would be a huge help for people who rely on those benefits.
It would, for sure. But there's been some news that's kind of a bummer.
Oh, no.
What happened? The timeline for passing the act has been pushed back. It's hitting some roadblocks in Congress.
Oh, man. That's rough. Especially for folks struggling to make ends meet.
Yeah, it is. It's a reminder that even when people have good intentions, things don't always move quickly.
Absolutely. This whole thing with the stimulus checks and the Social Security Fairness Act just shows that finances can be unpredictable.
Like a roller coaster ride, up and down.
Exactly. You never know what's coming next. That's why it's so important to stay informed and be ready for anything.
Couldn't agree more. Knowledge is power, they say.
That's right. We try to make these financial topics easy to understand because we know it can be a lot to take in.
We appreciate you joining us for this conversation.
We do. And speaking of joining us, if you're finding this helpful, we'd love it if you hit that like button.
It helps us reach more people who could use this information.
It really does. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any future episodes, be sure to subscribe.
We're always looking at new topics and breaking down complicated financial stuff.
So hit that subscribe button and become part of our community of informed and engaged listeners.
It's been great talking about all this with you today.
It's always a pleasure. Now, before we go, I wanted to share a little wisdom from my daughter. She always says, enjoy the moments right now.
That's nice. It's easy to get caught up in worrying about the future or dwelling on the past.
It is. We need those reminders to just be present and appreciate what we have.
I agree.
So whether you're celebrating an unexpected stimulus check or figuring out the ins and outs of Social Security, remember to take a breath and enjoy the ride.
Very wise words.
On that note, we'll wrap things up for today.
It's been a great conversation.
Take care, be safe, and thanks for joining us.
Hard to say. The economy, it's hard to predict what'll happen.
Yeah, that's true. But it's always good to be prepared.
Absolutely.
Speaking of being prepared, let's switch gears for a second and talk about Social Security.
Okay.
There's some news for people getting Supplemental Security Income, SSI. SSI recipients are getting their January payment early this year.
Really? When's it coming?
It's coming on Friday, January 31st.
Oh, because the first is on a weekend this year?
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Now, I know the maximum SSI payment is $967.
Right. But a lot of people get less.
Yeah, the amount depends on their situation and if they have any other income.
Right.
There's been a lot of talk about the Social Security Fairness Act.
Yeah, that's the one that wants to increase SSI payments by $360 a month, right?
Yep, that's the one. It would be a big help for people who need it.
Definitely. But there's some news about it that's not so good.
Oh, no. What is it?
It looks like it's going to take longer to pass the act than they thought.
What?
It's facing some pushback in Congress.
Oh, man. That's tough. Especially for people who are already struggling.
It is. It just goes to show that even when people have good intentions, things can move slowly.
So true. This whole thing with the stimulus checks and now this delay with the Social Security Fairness Act, it just shows how unpredictable finances can be.
Yeah, it's like a roller coaster. You never know what's coming next.
Exactly. You got to stay informed and be ready for anything.
I agree with you there. Knowledge is power.
Definitely. We try to make these financial topics easy to understand because we know it can be overwhelming.
Yeah, it can be.
We're glad you're here with us for this conversation.
We appreciate you joining us.
By the way, if you're finding this helpful, don't forget to hit that like button.
It helps other people find this information too.
It really does. And if you want to keep up with all our future episodes, make sure you subscribe.
We're always breaking down complicated financial stuff and looking at new topics.
So hit subscribe and join our community of informed listeners.
It's been great chatting with you about this today.
Always a pleasure. Before we wrap up, I wanted to share something my daughter always tells me. Enjoy the moments right now.
That's a good one. It's so easy to get stuck worrying about the future or the past.
I know, right? We need those reminders to just be present and enjoy what we have. So whether you're celebrating a surprise stimulus check or trying to figure out Social Security, take a moment to breathe and enjoy the ride.
Wise words.
And on that note, we'll call it a day.
This has been a great conversation.
It has. Take care, be safe, and thanks for joining us. And hey, before we forget,
Oh, yeah.
if you got some value out of this conversation, hit that like button and subscribe to stay up to date on all our finance deep dives.
We're here to help you navigate this crazy world of money.
You got it.
Until next time, then.
Stay informed, stay curious, and most importantly,
Oh, yes.
enjoy the moments right now.
Take care, everyone.